There's a moment in the Church's recent history that every Catholic should know. It was November 2016. Four cardinals, Burke, Caffarra, Brandmüller, and Meissner, delivered 5 specific questions to Pope Francis about Amoris Laetitia. They called them dubia, formal doubts asking the Pope to confirm or deny whether the traditional doctrine on communion for divorced and remarried people was still valid. Francis never responded. Caffarra died in 2017 without a response. Meissner died in 2017 without a response. Burke and Brandmüller are still waiting. Then, on June 1st, 2026, 10 years after the dubia, the president of the Spanish Episcopal Conference published a pastoral letter, and he answered the question that Francis had refused to answer. The dubia asked one specific question: was the interpretation of Amoris Laetitia that permitted communion for divorced and remarried people in certain cases compatible with the doctrine defined in Familiaris Consortio by John Paul II in 1981. Familiaris Consortio was explicit. Those who have received a divorce and remarried civilly cannot be admitted to the Eucharist. Period. No exceptions, no pastoral discretion. Argüello, on June 1st, 2026, wrote exactly the same words as John Paul II, not those of Bergoglio. By the end of this video, you'll understand why that letter is the most explosive news of the week. And because the Vatican's response, not a statement, not a denial, but a precise gesture, changes everything we thought we knew about Leo XIV's position on Amoris Laetitia. Let's get down to business. On June 1st, 2026, Archbishop Luis Argüello of Valladolid, president of the Spanish Episcopal Conference, published a pastoral letter on the occasion of Corpus Christi. The text is explicit. Those who enter a new marital relationship after the failure of a valid marriage cannot receive Eucharistic communion. Period. No exceptions, no pastoral discretion entrusted to the confessor. Argüello adds 2 more cases that exclude one from communion: living in a sinful relationship and publicly defending positions contrary to Christian morality. 3 categories, 3 clear exclusions. The language is that of the Catechism of John Paul II, of Ratzinger, not that of Amoris Laetitia. Let's understand who Archbishop Argüello is and why his words matter so much. Luis Javier Argüello Garcia was born on May 16, 1953, in Meneses de Campos, in the province of Palencia. He studied civil law at the University of Valladolid before entering the seminary. Pope Francis appointed him Auxiliary Bishop of Valladolid on April 14, 2016. He has served as Archbishop of Valladolid since June 17, 2022. On March 5, 2024, he was elected president of the Spanish Episcopal Conference with 48 votes for the term 2024-2028. He's not a peripheral traditionalist. He's the institutional head of all Spanish Catholic bishops. His canonical and media influence is enormous. When he speaks on behalf of the official structure of the Spanish Church. It's worth noting an important detail. This isn't the first time Argüello has spoken about communion. In 2023, he told a Spanish government minister that all Catholics in a state of grace could receive communion regardless of sexual orientation. That statement went one way. The June 1st statement goes the other. Argüello is no traditionalist, which makes the letter even more significant. Let's not move forward without understanding this. Amoris Laetitia, Pope Francis's post-synodal apostolic exhortation of 2016, states in paragraph 305, "Those who live in an objective situation of sin may, in certain cases, not be subjectively guilty or only partially so, and can live in the grace of God, can love, and can even grow in the life of grace. Footnote 351, perhaps the most discussed in the recent history of the Church, adds that in certain cases, this person can receive the help of the sacraments, explicitly citing the Eucharist. Argüello's letter of June 1, 2026, leaves no room for that footnote 351. It doesn't say, in certain cases, yes. It says, no. Communion is not possible for those in a new marital relationship after a valid marriage. This is the position of John Paul II's Familiaris Consortio of 1981. This is the position that 4 cardinals had asked Francis to confirm with the dubia of 2016. Francis did not respond. Argüello responded. What we see is only the surface. Because on June 2, 2026, the day after the letter was published, the Holy See officially added Archbishop Argüello to Leo XIV's official entourage for his apostolic journey to Spain, scheduled for June 6 to 12. Info Vaticana reported this on June 2nd. This is the point that changes everything. The Vatican could have ignored Argüello's letter. It could have added nothing, subtracted nothing. Instead, he made an active choice. He placed the bishop who contradicted Amoris Laetitia at the Pope's side during the pontificate's most anticipated trip to Europe. It's not a neutral gesture. It's a gesture whose meaning we're still trying to decipher, but it must be understood. And this is the contradiction that no one dares to openly name. Amoris Laetitia is the document that has divided the Church more than any other in the last 40 years. It split the College of Cardinals, generated contradictory regional declarations. Some bishops said yes to communion, others said no, and produced the dubia of 4 cardinals that Francis left unanswered. For 10 years, the Vatican has never clearly stated, does Note 351 mean that divorced and remarried people under certain conditions can take communion or not? Now, Leo XIV has convened the presidents of the world's episcopal conferences for October 2026, a meeting specifically on Amoris Laetitia and the pastoral care of families. The timing is no coincidence. This is the first time that a pontiff has convened such an assembly specifically on this document. There is a question that hovers over all this. Does Leo XIV want to close the chapter opened by Amoris Laetitia by reaffirming traditional doctrine, or does he want to open it further? The answer he gives in October, or does not give, will be one of the most decisive moments of his pontificate. Catholic doctrine on communion has never changed and cannot change. The problem with Amoris Laetitia wasn't doctrine. It was the pastoral ambiguity that allowed contradictory interpretations at the local level. If Leo XIV clarifies this ambiguity in October, it will be one of the most important gestures of his pontificate. If he doesn't, the confusion will continue, and letters like Argüello's will continue to be necessary. If you appreciate this work and want to help us continue, you can support the channel through subscriptions. As it's an independent project, every support is precious. Thank you so much. What do you think? If you liked the video, comment Amen. God bless you.